Hi guys, welcome back. I'm going to do a quick update on Evo 13.5. Okay, so last time you saw the tank, it looked very different and it was pretty dirty. What had happened is that I broke down and I had bought a RAS and I had taken apart my QT system, so I used this little tank to quarantine my RAS for about a month and a little bit. And I couldn't really do much with my SPS plans during that time, so I kind of gave up doing anything on the tank. I mean, it was still obviously running. But it was full of algae because I was feeding the RAS and it looked like a mess. But happy to report that the RAS has successfully finished QT and he's now upstairs in the display. So that gave me an opportunity to actually work on the tank and start to kind of implement some of the changes that I wanted to do. Okay, so we have about 3 new things here, and I'll just show you quickly. So I decided to go with the tunze nanostream 6020. It's a small little pump and it puts out 660 gallons per hour, I believe, which is about 50 times the turnover rate for the size tank, which is what I was looking for. It's really inexpensive. It doesn't have a controller. There's no bells and whistles. But for the price and the amount of power that it puts out, I thought it was worth a try. I generally really like tunze equipment. I never had any issues with them. Unfortunately, I've had a bit of issue with this pump. So sometimes when the power turns off, the impeller doesn't kick in right away, and you have to actually like fidget with it. And it seems to be a common problem with this style pump. So not really happy with that problem, but it does put on a lot of power, and it certainly could move water around. So I'm going to keep it in the tank for now. All right, so that's one change. The second change is you notice that I have all of these bits of live rock here that weren't in the tank before, and I added them. They were from the display. If you saw my last update on the Red Sea Reefer 250, you would have seen that I removed quite a bit of live rock. Well, not a bit of live rock, but I removed this much live rock, as much as you see here, actually a little bit more than that. And it was, good live rock full of sponges, full of microorganisms, and I thought it would be good to kind of add it to this tank just to give it a little bit of extra capacity to deal with nutrients. The third thing that I wanted to do is, now that I'm gonna like go full speed ahead with trying to get SPS to grow here, is I actually added a doser. So if you see here, I got my Bubble Magus 3-channel doser, which was on my Red Sea Reefer 250, but I had removed it several months ago when I installed a K-More Wi-Fi doser, and so this thing was just kind of sitting in a box somewhere, and I thought it would be a good idea to just start it back up. So I have the lines. This little cupboard is handy, so I got my dosing containers right there, and the wires, the dosing lines, just go to the back, and they dose into the return chamber right here. So these are the 3 wires. One of them is for my automatic top off. Oh, and by the way, let me just show you something really cool. So this is the bracket that holds the optical sensor for my automatic top off, and I actually designed and built this myself. So it was printed on a 3D printer. I recently got access to a 3D printer, and I've been having lots of fun building little custom gadgets. So pretty cool, huh? I'm gonna just show you quickly. There it is. Yeah, so it's pretty easy to design, and just note that if you have access to the 3D printer, there's lots of free software that you could use online to design things. Okay, so I got sidetracked. Yeah, so dosing. So right now I'm dosing alkalinity, 2-part solution, alkalinity and calcium. And what I'm trying to do is make the water chemistry in here match the water chemistry in my Red Sea Reefer upstairs. So that way, anytime I do a water change from the display on the display, I take the water from the dirty water from the display and I add it here. And if the parameters match the same, then essentially I'm not causing any drastic changes to the water chemistry here. So what I'm aiming here is about 8 DKH for alkalinity and about 420, 430 parts per million calcium. So the fracs that I have been in the tank have actually been doing well. So you could kind of see that, you know, some of the Montiporas here are getting pretty good color, right? You see nice kind of fluorescent greens and the fluorescent pinks. Back there, the Mystique is showing, there we go, green flesh and blue polyps. Obviously, there's quite a bit of algae here, so I still have to work on the algae problem. I did add a whole bunch of snails, but I think I need to add some more. But you know that the SPS are not dying. They're actually looking good, which is, I think, very promising. So I think I'm getting the 3 main pieces of the puzzle right. Obviously the Radion is putting on enough light, and the water, the flow is now pretty adequate with the tunze. And I think the last piece of the puzzle is water chemistry. And ever since I started kind of dosing and trying to maintain parameters, I've been noticing that the SPS that were in the tank are looking good. So another example of this is actually a pink Cadillac frag, and it's a bit hard to tell from here, but it's actually, you know, it's showing color. It's fluorescent green, and you see that it's kind of encrusting on the plug. These Miyagi torts, you could, you know, they were pretty brown in the tank for a long time, but they're actually, again, it might be hard to see, but I'm starting to see some of that green fluorescence. So overall, I think I'm pretty kind of happy with the progression of this tank so far. The SPS that have been here for more than a month have not died, and some of them are actually coloring up and looking good. I'm seeing encrusting on some acroporas, which is, I think, a big deal. And now that there's no more distractions with the RAS, I could kind of give this tank a little bit more attention and make sure that all the parameters are in check. Okay guys, so that's about it. The plan is to, after the water chemistry in here matches the tank upstairs, then I'm gonna cut a whole bunch of new frags and put them down here and see how well they do over like a 6-month period, just to kind of tweak the system and make sure that I have everything right for growing SPS in this small tank. Okay, thanks, and see you around. Bye.